Hi, Crafter Geek here, and I'm here today to show you the faux chainmail fabric that I found on Etsy. Now, I found this, it's sold on EMF Safety Shop. It is $13.95 per foot, and I got 2 feet. It is 39 inches wide. So this is 2 feet down this way, so as you can tell, it's pretty small of a piece of fabric when you order it. It costs $13.95 a foot, and it cost about $10 in shipping. Now, this fabric does have a little bit of stretch to it, which is nice. It'll be a little bit movable while you're wearing it, but it's got a nice, on the grain this way, it doesn't have a lot of stretch. So I'm hoping that that will make it pretty easy to work with as far as cutting and sewing. So you can see the different stretching this way. Now, this is made with a stainless steel wire knitted with polyester yarn. And as you can see that from a distance, it looks more like chainmail, but it looks a little bit more like mesh when you're seeing it up close. But from a distance, it still looks pretty good, pretty see-through. And I hope that gives you an idea of what we are working with. Okay, now we are going to see how the chainmail cuts. And I have just a cheap pair of scissors I use for fabric. And it actually cuts really well. I've got it pinned to my pattern piece right now, and it's cutting really well, really smoothly. Not having any issues cutting, so check on that. And it doesn't leave much of a fray either. A little bit of a fray, I think that'll look kind of cute on the seams. Okay, I did some test stitches on the fabric, and it stitches like a dream, I'm happy to say. I did both a straight stitch and the zigzag stitch on my test piece of fabric. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the zigzag stitch because I am making a sleeve. Okay, so a little one-handed operation. This is the zigzag stitch. And as you can see, it's doing really well, really smooth, and not getting stuck into the machine or the needle at all. And now for the final test, which is wearability. This sleeve is for someone else, so it's going to be a little loose on me, so you're aware. Now that I have the sleeve on, it is a little bit hotter than I imagined it would be. However, we are going to be doing this indoors at Dragon Con, and as far as Dragon Con costumes are concerned, this is certainly not going to be the deal breaker as far as heavy, hot costumes. It is a little picky on the inside seam because I turned it inside out. So that is definitely going to need to be either glued down. I don't think an iron is going to work on this fabric. I will test that next. Unfortunately, ironing is a no-go. I do have it on a fairly low setting, but every time I run the iron over it, it actually just curls up. It doesn't stay flat. I went ahead and trimmed the picky seams so it went to the border of the zigzag stitch. And that is what it looks like on the outside, and then flipped inside out. It's got a pretty nice seam on it. I give this faux chainmail fabric I found on Etsy a definite thumbs up. Your alternatives are real chainmail, which is extremely expensive and difficult to work with, or fabric that has chainmail printed on it, and that does not look very good for costuming. This is Crafter Geek signing off, and remember, I am not an expert, so do try this at home.